Morning. Our next topic is transmission open access in the restructured power system. So, in the restructured or deregulated power system, this transmission open access is a regulatory mechanisms that allow eligible generators and consumers to use the transmission network owned by other entity. Okay, say for example, if you are a generating company, there will be a transmission network will be there. You can able to access the transmission network, but you need to pay for that particular entity. Say for example, if the transmission alone is a one entity, you need to pay for the that entity. Okay, and this transmission is a non-discriminatory basis, so they won't allow any one participant. They won't give to any one generate station alone. Okay, they'll give to everyone. Okay, it's a non-discriminatory basis. Anyone can use that transmission network. Okay, so that is what it is, non-discriminatory basis. So this transmission open access enables competition and reduces monopoly control. It is not monopoly. Okay, anyone can monopoly control. Okay, one, it is not used by only one user, one generating companies, like whoever owning nothing. Okay, anyone can. So even if I am generating some 10 megawatt, I am giving to pool. Okay, so if I am asking for a transmission access, they need to give. So like that, so it is not. So it reduces the monopoly control. There is no monopoly in the transmission open access, and allows electricity to be traded freely across any regions. Okay, so that's what I said, non-discriminatory access. What is this non-discriminatory access? Transmission owners must provide a equal access to the all the users. Okay, they should not reject anybody. Okay, so like you are generating less power. No, so even there is some limit is there, but even it should be open to everyone. So no preference to their own generation companies or affiliated companies. So they should not give the preference to their own generation companies or their own affiliated companies. No. So it is open access. Okay. Otherwise, this independent system operator will ask you. Next, regulated by the Electricity Regulation Commission. So, like regulatory commissions is there, na? So that will be regulating. So there is no partiality for anyone in this market. Next, market competition. So market competition, how in this transmission open access is that breaks the monopoly of the vertically integrated utilities. So in the vertically integrated utilities, that is one monopoly will be there. So there is no competition because all generation, transmission, distribution, collection of tariff, giving supply to the new consumers, then operation and maintenance, O&M. Next, any fault clearance, paying the salary to wages, everything is owned by one single entity, that is vertically integrated utility. So for them, it is difficult to control all these things. So that's why here it breaks the monopoly of the vertically integrated utilities and encourages multiple sellers and buyers. Okay, so multiple sellers. So many sellers. It encourages many sellers. Say, for example, sellers means it is generation companies. Okay, and also buyers. Buyers also. Say, for example, your own area. You can frame one area, your district, or one town, or panchayat. Okay, or one local municipality. So you can come with one local municipality. We are having some 500 houses and some 10 industries, small scale industries. So we want this much power. So we are the some retail. I will you anyone on the behalf. Anyone can come forward and buy the power from the generation companies directly and give the supply to the that local consumers. That is also possible. So it encourages the multiple sellers, and so sellers also Sometimes some sellers will be given with some 10 rupees, for example, per unit cost, because they are producing by some thermal generating units or some nuclear power generating units. But some sellers will cost only for 5 rupees, because they won't they are having some renewable energy source generators. So like that also it is possible. So it leads to the competitive price discovery. So wherever the competitive price is there, that they will discover easily. Okay, so that is called market competition. Next, who are all the eligible participants? So, if you take the eligible participants, as I said, in the restructured power market, the generators are called independent power producers. That means IPPs, independent power producers. So, mainly they are using the renewable energy. Eligible participants mainly they are using renewable energy generators. Why they are using renewable energy generators? Because the cost will be low. Next is captive power plants. They are using the captive power plants. Next, large industrial and commercial consumers. Okay, so who are their consumers in the sense they are the large industrial, because bulk consumers. Okay, consumers are bulk consumers. They can get some 0.25 megawatt or 0.1 megawatt, like that bulk consumers only there. Sometimes, as I said, one municipality is coming forward. Okay, one particular district is coming forward. One city is coming forward. So they are also a bulk consumers. Okay, one person or one company is in charge for that particular city, or many in charges. Many companies are there serving in that particular city. They can also take the power from the independent power producers, and they can also give to the consumers. So these are called the eligible participants also there. Next, what are the types of this transmission open access? So first one is a short-term open access. Short-term open access, that means duration up to 1 year. Okay, duration up to 1 year, used for seasonal or spot market transactions. Okay, seasonal or spot market transactions. That is called short-term open access. Next, medium-term open access. Okay, transmission open access. That duration, they will give the contract for 3 years to 5 years. Medium-term open access. Okay, used for medium term bilateral contracts. So here this is up to 1 year for spot market. Spot market is what already we have seen enough about the spot market or daily market or hourly agate market. Okay, so this spot market duration is for 1 year. That is short term transmission open access. Next, coming to the medium term open access, that is for 3 to 5 years. Okay, so this is used for medium term bilateral contracts. Next is long term transmission open access. So, what is the duration? That is duration for 7 to 25 years. Okay, suitable for large power plants, renewable projects, like that. Because once you install a large power plants, minimum running time will be, say, for example, you are constructing your own nuclear power plant. So, minimum running time will be there, some 20 years. Okay, like that. Okay, so after that you need to close that, and again you need to open nearby that reactor, because once you take the nuclear fuel to that particular reactor, then it will be last for it depends on the kilogram of usage. It will be last for 1 year also, it will be last for 5 years. It depends on your load also. Okay, so after that, next, if you take some renewable energy projects like wind energy stations and some solar energy station, that also will be last for some years. Say, for example, solar power station, if you install solar, so the lifetime of the panel is 15 years. If well maintained, you can also use up to 20 years. Again, you need to replace the panels, that and all. So you can go for long term contracts. Okay, if you are doing with the long term open access. Now, how the transmission open access works step by step. So generator or consumers apply for the open access capacity. First, they need to apply, because if I am owning the generators, I need to apply for the open access. So anybody can access like that. Okay, so I'm generating 1,000 megawatts. So anybody can access like that. You need to go for the open market. Okay, even consumers also, bulk consumers also. I want this many 500 megawatts as a load. I want 100 megawatt in my city. Like that, that consumers also, bulk consumers also can go for this open access. Okay. So availability is checked using OASIS. Okay. So open access, same time information system. Okay. So are similar systems also there, not only OASIS, similar system. Already we have seen this OASIS in detail in the previous classes. Next, capacity is reserved for a specific time or quantity. How this transmission capacity is reserved for the specific time or the quantity. Next is power injected and withdrawn to that particular grid only. Okay, so power is injected and withdrawn to the through the grid only. So you should not use some other medium. Okay, because in the grid only, because that city is near to the grid, so easily you can access the grid. Otherwise, if you are giving that to some other private grid, means again you need to pay for that private grid. Okay, so owning that again another one grid is very tedious task. Construction of transmission tower itself, 3 days task, and owning a grid with the transmission tower is also a 3 days task. So it is withdrawn to the grid only. Next is meter system records this energy flows. So that will be one meter will be there. What is the incoming? That means generating station. After generation, incoming will be there, na? And what is the outgoing? Like metering system will be there. Next, after that, financial settlement also should be carried out. Okay, some say for example in the open access, so like this finance the, say for example, if you are sending this power generation company, see, I'm injecting 100 megawatts. So for 100 megawatts, how much to be paid, like that, that also should be carried out. So this is how this transmission open access will work out. Next, what are the charges and the payments involved? What are the charges? So, transmission charges that you know. So, payment for the grid. Next, wheeling charges. Wheeling charges means same like distribution charges. Distributing that power, no, that is also that is called wheeling charges. Same. This wheeling charges sometimes will come under the transmission charges. Also will come under the wheeling charges. Okay. Sometimes in some entity that will be separate also. Okay, but generally, I said the transmission and distribution charges, that is called also called as wheeling charges. In some entity, they will take a wheeling charge alone as a distribution network. So while writing in any exam and all, you have to specify clearly. Okay, so because it depends on the entirely depends on the that particular environment, our country, our region, our state. Okay, in which they are living, like that. So some entity, they will separate this transmission charge and distribution charge. Some entity will integrate. I know some regions are there, where transmission and distribution is a single entity. I Another market is there where generation and distribution is one single entity, transmission alone another single entity. Like that also there. So you should not confuse. So clearly you need to write. Okay, whether you if you write wheeling charges with the transmission charges also, okay, good. That is also correct. But payment should be made. That's all. Okay, payment should be made for transmission and distribution, or transmission entity alone or distribution entity alone. Next, loss charges. Who will give you bear the loss charges? So loss charges also should be paid. Next, cross subsidy charges to protect the utility. Say, for example, if one company is there, so they need to insure, and insurance also should be made for a particular generator like that, because any failure happened, okay, any fire accident happening the power station, that also they need to claim. Okay, so that surcharges also we need to pay. Okay, all also coming under this transmission open access charges. Okay, so that surcharges also we need to pay. So additional surcharges to recover some standard costs. Sometimes uh, they will take some loan. Okay, if it is, if say for example the transmission network alone owned by some government, government simply they what they will do, they will go for a loan. They will pay some 1 rupee as a interest, or some dollars as a interest. So they need to repay that loan also. So for that also some surcharges will be added. Okay, so that also we need to bear in the transmission open access. So these are the charges pay and the payments involved in this transmission open access. Next, what are the role of this information system? That means open as a same time information system. So it is an online platform. Already I have discussed in detail this OASIS. This is an online platform. Everything you can see. That means what is the amount of capacity that is booked. Next, what are the congestion information? Which area are congested today? Real time. What is the real time grid status? So everything you can see in this online platform. So which ensures the transparency and fairness to the consumers. That is very, very important thing in restructured power market. Always remember, transparency is there in the restructured power market. Okay, transparency and fairness. Okay, because you are seeing, no, so if you are seeing and comparing means automatically that should be fair only. Okay, because you are analyzing which entity, which network I need to choose, like that you are analyzing. Next, metering and scheduling. Okay, so sometimes special time block meters are also available. So that will be recording the that transmission access for 15 minutes or 5 minutes, like that also used. Okay, so which enables the accurate billing. Okay, so minute by minute or 5 minutes, what is the transmission happened in 5 minutes or 10 minutes, 15 minutes, like that. Specific time block meters also there. Accurate billing will be there. So deviation, any deviation, that also settlement is there. Next is real time monitoring will be there. Okay, real time. You can monitor your electricity tariff, real time. If you open your internet, in that, if you give your consumer number, real time, what you are using, so what is your payment up to now, what is the payment now it is happening, everything you can easily monitor in this transmission open access system. Okay, next, congestion management system. So this techniques are already I have discussed in the previous class. So generator dispatch. So for example, already we have calculated for some dispatch. Okay, so dispatch should happen like this and all. Already we have calculated, but due to the that present scenario, sometimes there is some mismatch will be there. So again, you need to go for the redispatch or real-time dispatch should be happening. Like that also, it is there. Next, curtailment of this transactions. Okay, so transaction curtailment, that also you need to maintain. Next, market-based congestion pricing. Market-based congestion pricing also you need to maintain. Okay, so congestion pricing, sometimes say for example in the market, nobody for example some network there is no congestion, then if you are charging for congestion pricing as more, then that is also difficult to sustain in the market. Okay, so it should be market based. If all networks, all region networks having congestion, okay, so based on that the pricing is happening. then you can also, so you need to carefully design this market based congestion to survive in the market. Otherwise you will be out of the market, so no one will choose you. uh, you will be out of the market. Next, load shedding. Some for example, some extreme cases, some fault happening. So load shedding, that how to manage. Okay, in the transmission open access system, that is also you should taken care of. Next, what is the role of the system operator in this transmission open access system is, so ISO load dispatch center, regional dispatch center, okay, national load dispatch center. Okay, so this all manage the grid security. Main thing is grid security. Next is scheduling, dispatch. Next, congestion, frequency control. These are frequency control and congestion management and all will come in the ancillary service that we are going to see later. Next, this role of independent system operator, always remember, ensure the reliability despite of the multiple concerns. So reliability and security. Okay, what is the role of independent system operators in any system? In transmission open as system also, it is reliability. Reliability despite of the any users, multiple users. Next, what are the benefits of the transmission open access? What are the consumer benefits? So, choice of the suppliers will be there. So, you can choose your own suppliers. Okay, that is the choice is there. Next, reduced power procurement cost. Okay, procurement cost will be reduced. Next, improved service quality will be there because of the competition. Always service will be given more importance. What are the generation companies benefit? Direct access to this markets. Generator bring direct access to the market. So generators can give direct access to the market, reduce dependency on the utilities. You know what is utilities? So utility means each one is one utility. Generator company one utility, transmission network one utility, distribution network one. So you can't you won't depend on your utilities. So dependency will be reduced in this open access system. Next, better revenue realization. So, whatever the rupees you paid, you can see how it has been spent. Okay, you can calculate what is the total cost received, what is the total amount of power received by our consumers, like bulk retailers. Okay, how much we are charging with. Okay, they are buying at this much rupee and we are paying this much rupee. Like that, you can make it calculation. This many service connections are there. Like that, you can divide and calculate what is that real. So, real time revenue calculation realization is possible in this uh, in this market. That is markets. Okay, next is system benefits. So, what are the system benefits? So, efficient utilization of this transmission assets. Okay, so this transmission assets you need to utilize efficient. Okay, which encourages the investment in the generations. Okay, and also it supports the renewable energy targets also. Okay, so say for example, you have to utilize all the things efficiently. Okay, that is there. And investment, because here the transmission access is open, so which encourage investment. More generators will come and invest. Okay, you can also start your own startup by installing one generator of 10 megawatt or 15 megawatt or 50 megawatt. Like that, you can go for open market and you can sell your power even if the source is available for you, and supports the renewable energy. Okay, so whatever the renewable energy we can generate, we can easily give to open access system, transmission system, and that will be sold. Okay, so you should not have the fear like I'm generating this much megawatt. So where can I sell like that? If you go to transmission open as a system, you can sell that easily. So what are the challenges and limitations? What are the technical challenges? If you take the technical challenges, network congestion will be there. Okay, so that one transmission companies has to manage. Next, voltage and frequency stability, that should be maintained. That also issues are there that they need to make it. Next, losses, increased losses will be there. That losses, as I said in the last class, loss transmission losses will be of 10 percentage, 15 percentage, 12 percentage, 8 percentage, depends on the regions. So we can't say like this you should always maintain 10 percentage losses, you should always maintain 8 percentage losses, like that depends on the operators and the challenges what they have, like that. So economic challenges also, higher surcharges discourage adoption. Okay. So some transmission also open access will give more surcharges. Okay, so which discourages some participants to take from the transmission open access. That is also there. Next, cost recovery issues for the utilities. Okay, so utilities cost recovery, that is also they need to take in care. So these are the economic challenges are there in this particular uh, transmission open as a system. Next, what are the regulatory challenges? So varying the regulatory challenges across the states and countries. Okay, so it depends on the state and countries. Uh, Approval delays will be there. Policy, sometimes country policy will not approve, like that. So transmission and renewable energy. So if it enables the wind and solar power to in the resources area, support green procurement by the industries, helps to meet decarbonization goals. That also facilitates corporate power agencies. Next is global and regional perspective. If you take like in India, mandated under the Electricity Act 2003. Okay, essential for power market development, key to achieve the renewable targets and all. It is there. If you take USA and Europe, so it is a mature open access system. So in India, not mature, but in USA and EU, mature open access system, advanced congestion pricing methods are there, independent transmission operators are there. So what are the future developments in the sense? Market-based transmission pricing. Okay, so we can go for market-based, and then AI-driven congestion prediction management, green open access corridors, that also you can make. Then integration with the smart grid, that is also possible. So these are the future development. But if you take the country like India, this mature open access systems and independent transmission operators, advanced congestion pricing and all, it is not there because India not fully deregulated market. So few are only deregulated. Okay, and different states having different deregulated restructured market. Okay, so as I said before, one state is having three entities, one state is having only two entities, one state is having four entities. Like that, it depends on the region and region, it is changed. So, but even though the open access also, it is included in this Electricity Act, but because fair access to be given to all, that point is mentioned in the Electricity Act. Okay, it should not be given to any one entity or to any other affiliating agencies. So it should be given to all. That is mentioned. But India, this market pricing system, open access system, and all should be improved. Have to be improved. Okay, but in some other countries, it is already matured system is existing. This thing we need to taken care of more. This